Gemini, welcome to your reading. So let's dive in and get your current energy. What's influencing you? Let's see if we can get one card on what you need to focus on. Your cards are very responsive today. And your past. And your strength. Your near future. What else do you need to know? What else is influencing this? And your potential outcome? So this video is available on TikTok at Tarot with Michelle and on YouTube and Rumble, Tarot and Astrology with Michelle. So Gemini, looking here, bottom of the deck, Nine of Swords. I'm picking you up at a point where you're trying to find your own internal balance and alignment. So the Nine of Swords feels like fear, but a fear of the unknown, trying to find that middle ground, but just being unsure on how things are going to play out here. There's something about the way that you're trying to find your balance, because I have the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I do have the Justice card showing up here in your current energy. It's Libra. This is about balance. And I get the Nine of Cups influencing it. Nine of Swords, Nine of Cups. This is where I feel like you're a little bit back and forth, and it actually plays out throughout the reading. And so at times it's you're open, you want to explore possibilities, opportunities, go after emotional fulfillment. But then also there's something about it that almost scares you in a way that kind of keeps you a little bit reserved, held back. And so it's about trying to find that right balance. It's really about that right pace in moving forward. And so it feels like here you're trying to find and maintain some level of balance internally so that things can come into alignment. In what you need to focus on, I'm getting the Emperor, Aries energy. So this is having that solid foundation. This could also indicate something about structure, because I'm getting the word structure specifically. And so if this is about your foundation, kind of building that stability internally, what kind of structures do you need to have in place? Because the Emperor here, it's Mars, the god of war. And so there's a lot of confidence, a lot of willpower, determination. And so this kind of, when I make up my mind, I follow through. I'm not interested in other people's opinions or anything like that. And so there's something about structure and kind of understanding the mentality here of that Emperor energy and this kind of, I need to do things my way. And what does my way look like for you? What does that foundation look like for you? Because I'm getting structures again, but it's showing up in the past with the Devil energy. It's Capricorn, and so these structures would have been limitations and restrictions. And so it feels a lot like you've had structures in place. They didn't go the way that you wanted. They blocked your progress. Now it's, I know I need to release those structures, but I can't be kind of carefree and have nothing around me. And so there's something about finding that healthy foundation versus what you've experienced before. And again, it almost feels like with the Emperor and the Devil, it's, what is that healthy foundation? What does that actually look like for you? And how do you get yourself out of these extremes of Nine of Swords, Nine of Cups? How do you find that middle ground and then hold on to it? Because it's, you can find it, but then how solid is that balance that you're finding? How long are you able to hold on to it? Seven of Wands is showing up here in your strength position. And so this is a lot of that self-defense energy, protecting yourself, feeling like you need to protect yourself in some way. And so again, it feels like as you're trying to find your equilibrium, your internal balance, you might be a little bit closed off to other people, opportunities, whatever the case is here. But it's really because you want to make sure that you're acting from that place of balance so that as you're opening up and moving forward, you're feeling more confident in the steps that you're taking. And so there's something about your structure and your foundation. I don't feel like you're going to be in this kind of in between for very long. I actually feel like you're going to find it pretty quickly here. because I have the Knight of Cups showing up in the near future. And so with the Seven of Wands, Knight of Cups, this is also coming through as perseverance, that you really want to find and maintain some sort of balance internally so that you are able to go after what you want. But I am seeing you going after what you want here in the near future. So again, I don't feel like this is going to be like a permanent energy. I feel like you've actually been going through this for a little while. You're going to find your balance here. It's not going to take long. And this is really why. So when I look at how the universe is shaping the situation, I'm getting the Queen of Cups with the Ten of Wands. The Queen of Cups is a lot of self-love and care. The Ten of Wands, a lot of pressure, burdens, responsibilities, limitations. It's the devil energy. And what you're doing and have been doing is kind of nurturing yourself out of old patterns, saying that I don't need this anymore. I'm not the same person. I don't need to have like all these measures around me protecting me from what? The unknown. I'm not the same person anymore. I don't need to be afraid of that or afraid of anything else, because what you're doing more and more is you're stepping into this Emperor energy. And so there's a lot of confidence that's building within you, and it's coming from the Queen of Cups, taking care of yourself, your needs, making sure that you're in a good place emotionally. And so showing up here in your hopes or fears, I'm getting the Star, Aquarius. And so I'm getting hope, optimism, and healing all coming through at the same time. And so this really is about the life here that you want to build. So it's healing from old wounds, old structures that were put into place to protect you when you were going through kind of dark periods, or maybe just feeling a little bit vulnerable and didn't want to experience any additional pain. All of that, I feel like you are actually going through the process of healing. That's what all of this is about. And part of that is also, okay, I want to heal, but I also want to open myself up to growth. And that is really the direction that you want to go here. Nine of Cups is influencing the reason for the balance. You're trying to counterbalance the stress and fear that you have so that you are able to go after what you want. And then I've got the Two of Wands showing up here in your potential outcome. And so the Two of Wands is seeing opportunity or potential on the horizon. So this is about seeing it, deciding, okay, that's where I want to go, and then going in that direction. So where I am picking up a little bit right now, and here even in the recent past, so current energy, recent past, a little bit of this closed off, a little bit of imbalance. By the time you get to the Knight of Cups and even the Two of Wands, the Two of Wands says that you're balanced, you have clarity, you're able to see this opportunity and go after it. So let's get some clarifying information. And so with Justice and the Nine of Cups, I am getting the Page of Wands here. And so the Page of Wands, impulsive action. And so even if you don't feel completely grounded and balanced all the time, the Page of Wands says here that when you have that moment of clarity, that you're balanced, you're grounded, you're focusing on what you really want, that's when you start taking action here. And it's more of, I just need to get going. I need to not let the devil energy kind of creep back in, not let any kind of stress or fear overtake the situation. So essentially, don't overthink it, just act. That's what I'm getting here with the Page of Wands. But I actually feel like that does help you in a lot of ways, because it helps you identify what has been holding you back within your own mind so that you're able to kind of overcome that barrier here. Tell me about the Emperor. King of Swords. And so the King of Swords is your energy coming through. So a lot of clarity around what you need as far as structures, foundation. I feel like you already have this information. This is not going to be new information for you. I feel like as you're kind of navigating your imbalance and finding the balance here that shows up in the current energy, there's something about like learning the lessons along the way, seeing things as they are. Because it's not just seeing things as they are. There's something about like recognizing old patterns and almost immediately releasing. Like you learn the lesson, you immediately release, and that's when healing kicks in. You're a very quick energy. Gemini is very quick. So there's something about you and the way that you're thinking about things, the way that you're embracing things. The information that's coming through with the King of Swords, clarity, release, connected to your structures, your foundation. It's almost like you're shedding what doesn't belong, and that's helping you to define what really does belong. And so take that as it resonates as to how the structure is being formed. But I am getting a sense of you're very clear on what you need, and now it's about putting all of those boundaries into place. And so this way you don't have to be so guarded, so protective of yourself. You're free to go after what you want. Tell me about the devil. Four of Pentacles. And so the Four of Pentacles here, this is what the devil's doing. And this is the difference between the Four of Pentacles and the Emperor. Four of Pentacles is also having a solid foundation. But the thing here is you're holding on to everything that you have. You're not open to anything new. And the devil is not letting you open up to anything new. It's keeping you in this locked energy. And so it's showing up here in the past. And this is already something that you've been working through. But it's what creates the fear. It's like, I'm held back because of the fear, because I need to just take care of myself and not worry about anything else. And so you almost kind of go into a protective mode and you put yourself in some sort of protective bubble. And so here it feels like that's showing up as recent past. And then here in the current energy, it's like as soon as you find the balance, you know that you need to start moving forward before you can start overthinking a situation. But I feel like that's because you recognize something internally, that you recognize that this would immediately kind of kick in and hold you back. So let's get the Seven of Wands. Knight of Wands. So I got the Page of Wands, I got the Knight of Wands, I've got the Knight of Cups. This is progress, this is movement. And so really it's about you defeating old patterns, things that have held you back. And so your strength here is in recognizing those patterns, those situations where maybe your mind kicks in and starts overthinking, or you don't need all of these protective measures, because I'm getting the structure word again. And so there's something about you recognizing what was and what you need moving forward, and then making the decision and acting immediately from a place of, no, that's not going to work for me anymore. I need to do something different. Tell me about this Knight of Cups. Hierophant. And so the Hierophant here, this could be you going after a relationship. It's Taurus energy. It's a card of marriage. So take that as it resonates. But it's really about you going after something that you really want for yourself. So that's reconnecting with your values, having a solid foundation, pursuing something meaningful to you, emotionally opening yourself up here, not letting any kind of cloud or confusion of the mind really keep you in a trapped space. I feel like you're actively moving beyond all of this. So let's get this Queen of Cups. Ten of Pentacles. So another marriage card coming through. So take that as it resonates. Queen of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. What you're doing right now is you're kind of nurturing yourself through a process where you're able to focus on your balance, your stability, but long-term stability. And this is also pursuing long-term goals. So even if it's not about marriage for you, this could be just the life that you want to live, the legacy you want to leave behind, and really dedicating yourself to making these steps or taking these steps, making this progress. I tried to say them both at the same time and was tripping my mind up here, but it really is nurturing yourself into a better place so that you're open to the kind of life that you want to build. So whether that's with another person or just in general, the life you want to build, take that piece as it resonates. But I am getting a lot of nurturing, loving support. Tell me about this Ten of Wands. Five of Cups, shift in perspective. And so the Five of Cups here is letting go of the sadness, the disappointment, the loss, the regret, anything that you would have experienced in the past that helped create the devil energy in the first place. And so you don't want to act from a wounded place anymore. So you're making all of the necessary change to act from an emotionally balanced place with the Two of Cups that are standing behind the guy here on the card. And so this really feels like it's getting out of devil energy, acting from a wounded place, then acting from a place of balance. And at the same time, releasing the burdens, the pressure, anything here that was slowing you down. Let's get the Star. Queen of Pentacles. And so the Queen of Pentacles is stability, and it's focusing on long-term growth. And so this is exactly what you've been looking for. You've been looking for a reason or a way to heal, focus on the balance that you're finding, but really make it long-term. This is not, I want to keep going back and forth. That's fun for me. This is, no, I want to be done with all of that. I don't want the wound or any kind of limitations and restrictions, burdens, pressure, responsibilities, anything like this to weigh on me anymore. I want to step into balance. I want to focus my energy, my effort on what I want to build and grow in the future. And that actually feels like it's playing out here, but it's really speaking to your underlying motivation for kind of staying the course, that perseverance here. So let's get the Two of Wands. The World. Closing out the old cycle, focusing on the future that you want to build. Yeah, I didn't feel like it would take that long for things to kind of shift and change for you. So the World feels like it's the closure around the Devil energy and anything here that's been holding you back. And so I love this because this really does indicate here that you've learned the lessons, you're incorporating those lessons, you're opening up to new opportunities and possibilities as you focus on the future here that you want to build. So Gemini, we're going to take this into the extended and we're going to get any hidden messages here, as well as messages from your higher self or your spirit guides, advice to stay on track with all of this, and then how it's going to play out over the next month. So if you're interested, link is below, or you can join me over on YouTube and click that little join button where you get early access to this and the extended all ad free, as well as other member exclusives. I will see you soon. Take care.